Howdy, howdy. We are back at it with vertical and horizontal equations. We're writing equations with ordered pairs and all that stuff, picturing graphs and whatnot. And I want to focus again on vertical and horizontal lines. This time we're going to get more into it. So we have to read the directions pretty carefully. Make sure you know what's being asked of you at all times. So the directions, write the equation of the line passing through each set of ordered pairs. So that means we're going to do one thing, right? Then we're going to write the equation of the line perpendicular to that passing through 2, -6. It's another thing we got to do, right? And then we're going to write the equation of the line parallel to it passing through -4, -8, a third thing we have to do. So for each of these A and B, we got to do 3 things. Make sure you understand that. Always know what's being asked of you before you start doing anything. So we have our marching orders. We're going to do 3 things for each set of ordered pairs. We're going to write an equation of the line passing through these ordered pairs. And then we're going to write an equation of something perpendicular to it passing through another ordered pair. And then write another equation parallel to it passing through another ordered pair. So it's crazy stuff. All right. So now let's take a look. Last time we were working with vertical and horizontal ordered pairs, I talked about a shortcut that you can look for if you're noticing certain things, and hopefully you're noticing anything cool about these 2 ordered pairs. So, given the 2 ordered pairs, 2, -3, and 6, -3, you notice anything, right? Notice anything cool, and you might want to start paying attention, right? So pay attention. Heads up ball. Notice anything? And of course, by now you should be saying, yeah, I do notice something. They both have a -3. And I'm going to say, well, that's not good enough. Where is the -3? It's not that they have -3. They have the same y coordinates. That's so important. They have the same y coordinate. And if they have the same y coordinate, we now have the equation. These 2 ordered pairs are telling us the equation is y equals something, right? So that's basically the note right here. This is the note. Note. Notice anything? Yeah, if they have the same y coordinate, that means we have the equation. Y equals whatever that y coordinate is. In this case, y equals -3. The y coordinate is -3. So in this example, the equation is y equals -3. Now, what else do you know about the fact that we have y equals -3? From that previous example that we had, in the previous notes that we had done already, where if the y coordinate is the same, we're finding the slope, that slope is 0, right? So not only do we know the equation, we also have a few notes. The slope is 0, and it's a horizontal line. That's so important. So these are important notes to recognize once you see this equation that y is equal to -3. So remember, we're looking for 3 things, right? We're writing the equation of the line that's passing through the ordered pair. Check. So we have that equation, y equals -3. Because we know a few things and we can take a few notes from that previous video, you have no idea what I'm talking about, you have to go back and watch the video we had done about parallel, perpendicular, vertical, and horizontal lines based on ordered pairs. Okay, so we had worked on that set of notes, and you're going to need to go back and watch that if you have no idea what I'm talking about. So now the next mission that we have is write the equation of the line perpendicular to it, passing through 2, -6. Now we got to do some thinking. If this equation is a horizontal line, perpendicular to it then means it's going to be a vertical line, right? And that means it's going to go up and down, and the x coordinates will all be the same. That's so important to know. So it's going to be a vertical line. We're going to have an undefined slope, and that means the x coordinates are going to be the same. And how do we know that? Well, take a look. I mean, you can graph it if you want. You want proof, graph it. So we have our two ordered pairs, at 2, -3, and 6, -3. So these are the two ordered pairs. This is the line we're dealing with, right? That's the line we're dealing with, y equals -3. And we know that's a horizontal line. And so perpendicular to that is going to be a vertical line somewhere, okay? But it's passing through 2, -6, okay? So we have a vertical line passing through 2, -6, and it's going to be a vertical line. Right, so all we got to do is find that equation. So if we want the proof of this, we know perpendicular to horizontal is going to be vertical. It's going to be an undefined slope. That means all the x-coordinates are going to be the same, right? This x-coordinate is 2, this x-coordinate is 2, this x-coordinate is 2. So all the x-coordinates are going to be the same. That means the equation then is x equals, right? So that's going to be the fun part. The equation then is x equals. You're going to have to know all this stuff. It's so much fun. Can't tell you. So the equation is x equals, well, what's the x-coordinate? All these x-coordinates are going to have the same, which is 2. Okay, so it's 2, comma, whatever. And that's all the x-coordinates on that vertical line. 2, comma, whatever. So the equation then is x equals 2. All right, so now we have answered the second question. Perpendicular to it, passing through 2, -6. X equals 2. And then the third question, parallel to the original, passing through -4, -8. And so now the third question, parallel to it, passing through -4, -8. Well, parallel to horizontal, right? Remember the original thing was horizontal. Parallel to horizontal is horizontal again. But this time through a different y coordinate. Okay, so we still know that the equation is going to be y equals something. And the y coordinate this time, parallel to that, it's going to be horizontal again. The y coordinate is going to be -8. So our y coordinate is going to be -8. So that means the third equation is y equals -8. So let's refresh. What just happened? Remember, we were doing 3 things, right? We had 3 things. We're going to write the equation line passing through each set of ordered pairs. In these 2 ordered pairs, we know the equation is y equals -3. Check. Then we're going to write the equation of the line perpendicular to that, passing through 2, -6. And we know perpendicular to that, passing through 2, -6, is going to be a vertical line, which means x equals 2. Okay, so that's the second thing we've done. And then the third thing, write the equation parallel to it, passing through -4, -8. And we know that parallel to the original equation is another horizontal line, so it's horizontal again, this time passing through -8, so it's going to be y equals -8. All right, and that's just fun stuff about vertical and horizontal equations. So let's see if you can apply that same type of knowledge to that second example. All right, it's basically the same stuff. So we're just doing more questions. Remember, we are looking for 3 things. Okay, we're looking for the equation of the line, and then we'll go work from there. So the same note as before. What was that first note? Notice anything, right? Let's see if you notice anything. And when you look at these 2 ordered pairs, notice what they have. They have the same x-coordinate now. And as we know from the previous lesson, if we have the same x-coordinate, we know what the equation is going to be. It's going to be x equals whatever. And in this case, it's going to be -5. And if we have the equation x equals -5, we also happen to know that, well, by the way, note, we're dealing with a vertical line, and the slope is undefined. So these are just important things to have all together, wrapped up in your head. And I know you're thinking, well, Mr. Katz, how do I do that? The answer is quite simple. Do your homework. As you do your homework, you have more and more practice to get all this stuff, to get it down. So you notice anything cool? The x-coordinate's the same. There's your equation. That was question number 1. Okay, so question number 2 then, well, what's perpendicular to it? Passing through to -6, right? So perpendicular to vertical is horizontal. So we know this is going to be a horizontal line. And as we know, horizontal lines have the equation y equals. Okay, and then in this ordered pair, y equals -6. Okay, so horizontal to, or perpendicular to the original equation, a horizontal line, y equals -6. Okay, so we have all that. And when in doubt, seriously graph everything that's happening. You can graph anything that's happening as you're doing it, and it can help you. So let's try that too, just in case you get lost, because it's easy to do. It's easy to get lost. So we have our original order pairs, -5, -3, or excuse me, -5, +3, oops, and -5, -1. Not that it matters, it's going to be on the same vertical line. So this is the original, right? It's x equals -5. And now the question is, well, what's perpendicular to that, right? So now we're going to look for a line perpendicular to that, but passing through to -6, which is down here. So what's going to be that equation? Well, that's going to be the equation y equals -6. So you can do this visually as well, right? So now we have our second job done. Third job. Also, write the equation parallel to it, passing through -4, -8. So my third task then is parallel, passing through -4, -8. And we know it's going to be parallel to a vertical line. It's going to be another vertical line. Okay, so we know it's going to be vertical again. But this time passing through -4, -8. Okay, so it's going to be somewhere down here, but it's going to be another vertical line. Okay, so it's going to be right down here. And guess what equation that is? That means all of the x-coordinates are going to be the same. And the x-coordinates are going to be -4. Funny, look at that. Check it out. X equals -4. And you can visualize all that stuff. Isn't that fun? Isn't that fun? So you got to know all that stuff. Vertical and horizontal lines are very, very important when it comes to analyzing functions. And so I am doing my best to make sure that you know everything possible about vertical and horizontal lines, their behaviors, their information, and how they relate to one another, because we're going to use it for the rest of the year. So there's that. Let's recap real quick. This is what we had to do, right? Write the equation of line passing through each set of ordered pairs. Done. What would be perpendicular? What would be parallel? And how would those equations behave? And that's it for that lesson. I will see you later.